Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're pitting two of the ocean's absolute most lethal inhabitants head-to-head. On one side we've got the deceptively cute blue-ringed octopus. On the other, the downright terrifying Australian box jellyfish, often called the sea wasp. We're going to unpack their incredible biology, compare their vastly different yet equally deadly weapons, and most importantly, dig into the science of how to actually survive them.
So let's dive right in with a kind of chilling scenario. Picture this. What weighs less than a golf ball but carries enough venom to kill 20 adults within minutes? I mean, it sounds like some sci-fi movie monster, right? But it's actually a real biological marvel. And it highlights a fundamental truth about our oceans. The absolute most dangerous things, they often come in the most unassuming packages.
Here's our roadmap for the explainer today. First, deadly beauties of the deep. Second, the flashing tiny terror. Third, the invisible sea wasp. Then, a tale of two toxins. And finally, surviving the unthinkable.
All right, let's start our journey with Section 1, Deadly Beauties of the Deep.
You know, when we think of those inviting coastal waters stretching from Australia all the way up to Japan and the broader Indo-Pacific, we usually picture relaxing beach vacations, right? Gorgeous coral reefs, little tide pools. But man, those sun-drenched waters hide some serious unseen dangers. And we're not talking about mythical sea monsters here. We're talking about highly evolved biological marvels that are locked in a high-stakes evolutionary arms race just beneath the surface.
Moving on to Section 2, the flashing tiny terror.
Let's meet the blue-ringed octopus. And the absolute crucial thing to understand here is its size. This thing measures just 12 to 20 centimeters, so about 5 to 8 inches. This is literally our golf ball-sized killer. One of the world's most venomous marine animals can comfortably sit right in the palm of your hand. Crazy, right? Because it's so small, it spends most of its time just docilely hiding in crevices, using these dermal chromatophore cells to camouflage itself flawlessly against the rocks. But what actually happens if this tiny creature gets provoked, or worse, handled? Well, it uses a defense mechanism known as appositism. That's basically a visual warning signal to predators. The octopus suddenly turns bright yellow, and these specialized multi-layer light reflectors in its skin, they're called iridophores, are exposed. The muscles around these iridophores contract to reveal this vibrant, iridescent blue color. It is sending a crystal clear message: do not touch me. And what's truly terrifying here is the sheer speed of that transformation. We are talking just 1/3 of a second for 50 to 60 of those iridescent blue rings to light up across its body. Literally in the blink of an eye, a perfectly camouflaged, docile little octopus turns into a flashing neon sign of lethal toxicity.
Okay, Section 3, the invisible sea wasp.
Now we're talking about Chironex flickeri, the Australian box jellyfish. Get this. This creature boasts 24 eyes arranged in clusters. Some of them can even form images and detect different colors of light to trigger feeding behaviors. Yet, despite having all those eyes, it has absolutely no central nervous system to process that information. It is quite literally a brainless evolutionary paradox just drifting through the ocean. Unlike the flashy warning of the octopus, the box jellyfish is all about total stealth. It features this pale blue, virtually transparent bell that can grow up to 35 centimeters across. And trailing behind it, 60 tentacles that stretch up to 3 meters, nearly 10 feet long when it's hunting. It's basically an invisible ghost drifting through the water. And those tentacles are armed with millions of microscopic venomous darts called clinocytes. They act like tiny, pressure-sensitive, explosive charges. Just to put that sheer power into perspective for a second, a single box jellyfish carries enough venom to kill 60 adult humans. 60! And unlike the octopus, which only bites defensively, the box jelly is an active hunter. It's out there actively searching for prawns and small fish. Anything that even brushes against those invisible 3-meter-long tentacles gets instantly injected with a massive, devastating payload.
Let's move to Section 4, a tale of two toxins.
When we actually compare the two side by side, the differences are just staggering. On one hand, you've got the tiny blue-ringed octopus delivering a completely painless bite through this tiny little beak. I mean, victims often don't even realize they've been bitten until it's way too late. On the other hand, the massive box jellyfish uses thousands of stinging darts to cause immediate, excruciating, searing pain. Both are fatal in a matter of minutes, for sure, but the octopus kills via suffocation, while the box jelly causes rapid cardiac arrest. So how exactly do these venoms act so radically differently on the human body? Well, the blue-ringed octopus utilizes tetrodotoxin. That's a neurotoxin actually produced by endosymbiotic bacteria living in its salivary glands. This stuff blocks the sodium channels in your cells, essentially shutting down all muscle movement and stopping your lungs. The box jellyfish venom, though, it aggressively attacks the cardiovascular system. It basically punches holes in your cells, causing this massive potassium leakage, a condition known as hyperkalemia, which violently and rapidly collapses your heart.
You know, there's a really dark irony to the blue-ringed octopus that makes it uniquely terrifying. Because tetrodotoxin only targets motor functions, and venomation leaves the victim fully conscious and alert. You can see, you can hear, you know exactly what is happening to you, but you are completely paralyzed. You literally can't even move your mouth to ask for help. It's a painless little bite from an adorable, glowing sea creature that slowly traps you inside your own paralyzed body. Which brings us to Section 5, Surviving the Unthinkable.
So why does understanding all this complex chemistry actually matter to us? Simply put, because applying the wrong first aid here could be absolutely disastrous. There is zero antivenom for the blue-ringed octopus. None. Since it causes respiratory paralysis, the only treatment is continuous artificial respiration until the body can naturally metabolize the toxin over several hours. The good news is, victims who get respiratory support quickly usually survive and make a full recovery. But the box jellyfish, that requires a completely different approach. If you ever cross paths with the invisible ghost, here is your actionable survival guide. Step 1. Generously apply vinegar. The acetic acid in it permanently deactivates the unfired stingers that are still stuck to your skin. Step 2, and listen, this is a really crucial update to older medical advice. Do not use pressure immobilization bandages. Recent research showed that compressing the tissue actually squeezes the stingers and provokes more venom to discharge from the tentacles. And step 3, seek immediate emergency help and antivenom.
Before we wrap up, it's incredibly vital to remember something. These aren't monsters maliciously out there hunting humans. They're actually critical cornerstones of marine conservation. Blue-ringed octopuses, for example, keep marine food webs in balance, and they help control invasive species, like the Asian date mussel. Plus, scientists are actively researching their unique tetrodotoxins and venoms. These compounds hold massive, game-changing potential for new medicinal and pharmacological discoveries. They really are essential to the overall health of our oceans.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If their highly evolved venom holds the key to our future medical breakthroughs, who is really saving who? Are we protecting them, or are they holding the biological secrets that will eventually protect us? I hope this explainer has given you a newfound respect, a healthy dose of caution, and a real sense of wonder for the deadly beauties of the deep.